everyone, Lou here. You all love my Lost Media videos, and today, why not talk about some Lost UTAU Voicebanks? Now, trying to find which lost UTAU to talk about is hard because there's so many discontinued or lost UTAU voicebanks. I'm not kidding that half this video was just trying to find which exact ones to talk about. The other problem is that when there was a lost UTAU, there was hardly any information on it, just that it was lost and that's it. Or no mention of a creator, the name might be a super common name any other UTAU might have, or just a very common Japanese name, or genuinely so obscure that Google couldn't give me a single piece of relevant information. That's why I'm sorry if I missed any that maybe you were excited to see. Also, Gahata Meiji won't be here because she's largely been found on several blog sites, so I don't consider her lost anymore. I also have her fairy voice bank, so she really isn't lost if even I own one of her voice banks. Alright, let's get started. Makun Hai. We all know the Vocaloid Ruby, right? One of the best English Vocaloid voice banks. If you don't, she's an English voice bank created by PowerFX with a pretty disastrous advertising before launch, but that's another story for another time. The reason I bring up Hachi is because she shares the same voice provider as Ruby, Misha. Due to Ruby's launch as a Vocaloid though, it meant that Misha wasn't allowed to distribute her UTAU anymore because her voice was now used as a commercial vocal synthesizer, and it would break Yamaha's terms of service if she continued to distribute her UTAU, so Makun Hai has been lost since Ruby's release. Not entirely, as Misha still has her UTAU, but last publicly used her in 2014 and sadly can't distribute her due to Ruby, so this is one of those UTAU where she's likely permanently lost unless someone manages to find they had her voice bank on an old hard drive somewhere. I get it, you know, Makun Hai does sound like if you ported Ruby to UTAU and made her sing proper Japanese, but she's just such an adorable design that it's a shame. How can I not love this design? I love characters with fluffy pigtails, so she's just a cute design, but oh well, I guess. Namida, an UTAU that shares a voice provider with her fellow Vocaloid voice bank, Dinah. Both are voiced by Vocaloid producer Aki Glancy, otherwise known as EmpathP. The reason she was taken down is the exact same reasons as Makun Hai earlier, but Namida has been featured by Aki Glancy a few other times in other things, even after she cut off distribution for Namida. What's weird to me is that Namida doesn't sound anything like Aki Glancy or Dinah. I'm guessing Namida's voice files were pitched up to sound something similar to Aoki Lapis as a soft, higher-pitched voice bank. Hell, she almost sounds like my UTAU Kotone Yose, but I think that's just because both my UTAU and Namida are soft, higher-pitched voice banks. Now, Namida has been somewhat found as her CV Acts 1 and 2 were recovered and posted on some blog spots and Argy Hardy Vocaloid blogs, but the links are often busted or lead to ad sites, so be super careful out there, guys, if you want to try and recover Namida's voice banks for preservation purposes. Aside from Aki Glancy, Circus P also owns Namida and showcased a cover of her singing Lag Train as early as 4 years ago, so I think Namida being lost forever is kind of unlikely if all these producers have her, you know? To me, it just feels kind of dumb that Namida was taken down because she sounds nothing like Dinah when comparing Makun Hai to Ruby. I guess you could achieve Namida's voice if you fuck with Dinah's brightness and gender settings, but I don't know, Dinah's is deeper and louder while Namida's is so soft and high-pitched by comparison. It sucks too because I like her design, I think she's really cute. She also has lore somewhere, but I couldn't find where the lore was. Ro Kemonone. Although to everyone's shock, Ro Kemonone did receive a Vocaloid 6 voice bank under the new name of Shiki Rowan, this did come with a downside as it meant Ro's UTAU voice banks were taken down, and so users who wanted a free alternative to the character obviously couldn't have that. Which kind of feels like a spit in the face to all the UTAU users who supported his voice bank, but obviously I get it. You know, Yamaha has a terms of service about not porting voice banks or making free versions of their voice banks, and obviously those UTAU voice bank was the free alternative. I feel like this isn't totally lost when Uro was found through his deep vocal voice banks, and they were ports of his UTAU voice banks, as well as someone found one of his CVVC voice banks, but I don't know if that's since been taken down, now that it's been like pointed out it was still up. I hope for the sake of preserving the progress of an UTAU to Vocaloid voice bank they get out, but at least all his MMD models seem to be perfectly preserved, but I guess that's different when it's just an image as a voice bank and not his actual voice. That said, I've never been a huge fan of Ro, but I feel bad for all the people who loved and liked his UTAU and want to re-download them or download them for the first time. He also has lore, I think, of other friends, much like Makun Hai, and I hope preservations are made to preserve his friends because I noticed they aren't used as often and I feel like they'll be lost like super easy. Nilla. This is a really interesting search. Originally noticed in a large list of voice banks to search for, a break was made by someone on Reddit who discovered this UTAU named Nilla, who was originally available around 2013 to 2015-ish. She's created by the now defunct Possible group named Sweet Era, and her voice provider was credited as Nilla. According to the Reddit post, the creator of Nilla deleted all their socials, and when they were found again and asked about Nilla, they were met with silence, and disinterest in preserving her voice bank. Even crazier is this person also made 2 other voice banks that I don't think will ever be found. You have Shione Hazu, who has a boyish voice akin to something like Len, and Beat Kanami, who I can't find a single archive of what her voice might have sounded like. All 3 had a sweets theme, so the idea is that they were a trio based on a vanilla wafer, raspberry, and chocolate. Though Hazu's earlier designs seem to be based off more mint than chocolate. I guess it's like a Neapolitan theme. Nilla in particular strikes me as super interesting as a voice bank design too, because her design looks like it's inspired by something, but I can't pinpoint what. Maybe I'm just delulu, as I thought she kind of looks like Alba's mom in Dramatical Murder. Then again, I might be thinking that from the pink with brown, or maybe something else, because gosh, this design just tickles something in my brain that it's inspired by something, but I have no idea what. Unless it's the vanilla wafer motif, which now I'm craving as I write this video. Nilla in particular had about 4 voice banks, Act 1, 2, 3, VCV, and an append voice bank of some kind, along with an MMD model using LAT's Miku model as a base. Meanwhile, Hazu and Beat had 1 voice bank each, so I think this will be a tough case for anyone looking to do some deep diving and finding UTAU lost media. Personally, I feel bad these will never be found, which is a shame because Nilla is an adorable voice and I would have loved to use her in my UTAU covers. The last known whereabouts of Nilla was around 2021 when her creator on the Sweet Era channel and someone in 2022 who used her again, but it's speculated to be a mutual who had her voice bank. It's definitely sad to see when an UTAU is lost because I think it's more than just a piece of lost media, but I think a part of someone's childhood or life moment. My UTAU, back when she was still called Kate T instead of Kotone, was made when I was around 15 or 16. I was just a kid, and although my voice hasn't changed much because puberty flipped me the bird, I guess, you know, I hear that voice and I hear the sound of a kid who wanted to just create and was cringe but free, you know? There's also just the fond memory of sitting in my room recording Kotone's first voice bank on my old cell phone with some suspicious recording app I found. And even for me, I have some lost voice banks for Kotone too, as the one I made for her second cover of Circus Monster and private test ones are just completely gone. Which is a shame for me because I love to see the progress I've made with my own creations. And I kinda can't help but wonder if some of these creators of these UTAU feel the same, and that it's a pivotal moment in creativity that's just kind of gone. But hopefully it means people will take more precautions in preserving their voice banks. That'll be it for this video. What do you guys think? Do you think any of these UTAU will be found, or are they just lost to time? If you want to use my voice as an UTAU, I have one by the name of Kotone Yosei that'll be linked. As always, let me know down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. If any of you would like to help support my channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description, along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas, or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!